So, well, there's much more to say on refuge. I thought it would be good to go over the guidelines for the practice of taking refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. Also because various people take refuge here at the Abbey, and then we'll also have the recordings and so they can remember. So the guidelines are designed to help us maintain our refuge and increase our refuge. Okay, so first actually I better talk about the refuge ceremony, because keeping the guidelines comes after that. So some people, having learned about the qualities of the Buddha Dharma Sangha and having the causes for refuge, concern about suffering, faith in the three jewels, compassion for sentient beings, then they want to really undertake Buddhist practice and take the three jewels as their objects and as their spiritual guides. And so at that time they can request to take the refuge ceremony. It is not necessary to take the refuge ceremony. It's completely optional. It's kind of like getting married. You can live together and it's fine, and you can get married, which is a public statement, and then, there's kind of more, because it's a public statement, maybe more committed or something in some situations. So here too, you can be a Buddhist and you can do Buddhist practice, and you're always saying, I take refuge in the three jewels at the beginning of all your meditation sessions. So that's kind of like living together. And then doing the refuge ceremony is like getting married. It's a public statement, and there's a little ceremony and so on. Okay, but it's completely up to somebody's own choice. And actually, even if you take the refuge ceremony, I'm wondering how much the marriage analogy goes on. You can be either married or not married, but even when you're married, you have to work at the relationship and develop it. So similarly, you may not have taken refuge with a ceremony, and you may still have refuge in your heart, which is perfectly all right. Or you may have taken refuge with a ceremony. But in any case, you still need to work at the relationship and develop your relationship with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and constantly deepen your refuge. And so I always say that refuge isn't like an on and off light switch. It's like one of the ones that you turn. And so the more you practice, the more you reflect, the more you integrate the teachings in your life, then the more faith arises in your mind that comes from your own experience of having tried the teachings and then them having worked for you. And so your refuge, you kind of increases, like that. Yeah. So that happens whether you've taken the ceremony or not. Yeah. And so the refuge guidelines are designed to help us deepen our refuge and increase them and make sure that we stay on the path that we've chosen to follow. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start looking at some of the guidelines.